silent and unseen, the airwaves that support our calls, our work, our lives are worth billions of dollars. The companies that get to operate that valuable spectrum are supposed to be up for grabs. But the regulator doesn't want to hold new auctions. Instead, it's proposing to roll over current licences, giving Telstra, Optus and others cut-price, ongoing access to public airwaves.
That spectrum is worth billions and the consumer should be getting the best possible price. That's what we need to get.
69 expiring spectrum licences were bought for $8.2 billion. But the Australian Communications and Media Authority, ACMA, wants to roll them over to the existing holders for between $5 and $6.2 billion.
Well, taxpayers will be losing between $2 and $3.2 billion. That's shortchanging Australian consumers.
The Australian Communications Consumer Action Network commissioned Professor Richard Holden to analyse ACMA's proposal.
It's hard to know why they would do that, and it's certainly not in the interest of the Australian taxpayer. But why don't we just run an auction and find out what we get? And if we get $5 billion, then fair enough. But if we get $10 billion or $12 billion, then that'll be better for the taxpayer.
ACMA's consultation paper says rolling the contracts over is the best option. Spectrum is a public asset for which industry should pay a fair price and from which consumers should gain maximum benefit. ACMA's preliminary view is that the expiring spectrum licences that underpin Australia's 3 mobile networks should be renewed. Understandably, that view is backed by the existing players that say whether licences are rolled over or are auctioned, the cost is passed on.
There's a direct relationship between the price that's paid for spectrum and ultimately the price that consumers pay for their services.
International prices for spectrum have been trending down in recent years. For example, Germany stopped holding auctions but has added conditions to rolled over licences, such as boosting coverage in regional areas. The peak body for the mobile industry says lower spectrum prices will allow telcos to expand their networks.
So I can't underestimate how important the cost of spectrum is and the direct relationship it has to future investment.
Others are less convinced.
They make this argument, I think, specious argument about, if you sort of give it away, then more money will get invested in the network. When one reads the submissions from the telcos, they wanted to get it for free. That's what they were asking for.
The thing about auctions is you never know who might turn up. By rolling over the licences, Australia could be locking out potential competitors and new technologies not currently available to Australian consumers.
It's maybe a good deal for the dominant telcos. It's not a good deal for consumers. It locks in existing players, it locks out new players.
A decision on how to sell the licences will be made next year. Until then, it's up in the air.